Hi guys and girls, it's Shannon, and today I'm doing a full face of makeup I found at B&M. Now some of them are brands that I've seen before, others never heard of. So let's just get straight into the video. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the foundation, which is the Olivia Hale foundation in Cafe au Lait. Can't speak French, so there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to pronounce it. There wasn't a primer, so I'm not doing a primer today. This is what the nozzle looks like. I also found my little metal palette, which is obviously good because then I'm not using plastic all the time, making loads of noise with the plastic. They actually only had a couple of shades of the foundation. This was the lightest one I could find, so it might not match me. Oh, by the way, you may think this is one of my Real Technique ones. This actually isn't. I got this in B&M. It's soft. It's not as soft as like one of my Real Technique ones, but considering the fact that I'm pretty sure this was like 99p. Okay, so there's the foundation just dolloped onto the metal palette. That is going to be so orange on me, but let's give it a go. Oh god. Oh my god. It doesn't have a funky smell, which is obviously a plus. I'm sorry I didn't upload last week, by the way. My tripod broke, and obviously I have no way of holding the phone up without my tripod, so I couldn't film anything, but I haven't actually fixed the tripod. My phone is actually secured to the tripod with elastic bands. But it was the only way I was going to be able to film. I will say this sponge is soaking up a lot of the product. Get off my ear. It is soaking up a lot of the product. If it weren't for the fact this foundation was so orange and just was not my shade, it wouldn't be too bad. It's just, it's quite orange. It's just not my shade at all. But there was only a couple, and this was the right shade that they had. So this was all I could get. So I figured that I'd just grab what I could and test it, because I can still figure, and to be fair, if it's the wrong shade, then, you know, I can actually tell better if it's patchy or not, if it's the wrong shade, because obviously you can see patches easier in foundation that is the wrong shade for you, obviously. I am in Oompa face at the moment. This is not the right shade for me in any way, shape or form. Hopefully the powder is a bit lighter and will sort of fix that. No, there's way too much foundation on me. And oh my god, it's oxidized. If it couldn't be any oranger. Look at the difference between what I've just put on and my face. I'd say it's like medium coverage at best. I wouldn't say it's full coverage, but it seems to be quite buildable, to be honest. Because like, I can still see my freckles and like the dark spot around my nose piercing. Don't really know why I've got a dark spot around my. I just nearly poked myself in the eye with this. I'm very impressed with the way that sponge is blending it out, though. Very oily. If you have oily skin, you will hate this. You will hate this. It's very, very heavy, very, very oily. If you don't like a heavy foundation, the thing is, it's heavy, but it's not full coverage, which just confuses me a little bit. Like, if you're going to be a heavy foundation, why not be full coverage? Oh my god, look at the difference. I'm an Oompa Loompa. I don't know if it's going to show how different it is on camera, but in the mirror, to me, it's a big difference. Right, so now I'm going to move on to the concealer, and apparently this concealer is in the shade Dark. Does that look dark to you? Because it certainly doesn't look dark to me. Maybe this will help sort out the foundation and lighten it up a bit. Don't like the bottle. Or the applicator. The applicator is very, I don't know, it's stiff. Like, it's not spongy like you'd expect a typical concealer applicator to be. That did nothing. And after 2 swipes that ran out. Doesn't hold a lot, and I feel like I'm running out of concealer already. I don't think that concealer did anything. Yeah, it didn't do anything. Hopefully the powder products will be a bit better. So the first powder product I have is the Max & More Highlight Foundation Contour Blush Palette. So this is in the shade Light, thank God, because hopefully it will sort something out here. So we've seen Max & More before because they actually sell this in Poundland, like the brand. They don't actually sell this palette. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to dust it on my face to try and de-orangify my face. So I'm going to take, I think I'm just going to take a mixture of these two and dust them all over my face to try and help. So that seems to have toned down the orange a little bit, but not massively so. I have a matte face now. Okay, so I think that's as far, I think that's all we can do in terms of the foundation. The foundation itself seems fine. I mean, it's quite, like, it's a heavy foundation. It's not full coverage, but it's not patchy. It doesn't appear to be wearing off. It's not moving around too much. Now I've set it in, like, when I put the powder on, the foundation didn't come off. We'll see how it does with like the bronzer and blush and all that sort of stuff. So let's continue, shall we? So now I'm going to move on to the bronzer and blush and all this sort of stuff. So I got something that I guarantee I will lose all the little balls out of this within well, by the end of this video. So I actually, for the first time, brought one of these little loose ball bronzer things. So this is the Sun-Kissed Bronze and Glow Bronzing Pearls. Again, pretty sure this was 99p. So I'm not going to take my usual bronzing brush because this will not fit into that pot. So I'm going to take you. I'm going to take this brush. I'm just going to dunk it in. Swirl. Shimmery. Bash it. It's very shimmery around the, oh my god, that just outright looks like blush. Can you see that there? Let's take this one. Come on. Oh, thing is, I really want these to work because if they're cheap alternatives, then you know, you don't have to be spending a small fortune on makeup. Come on, please blend out. To be fair, that is blending out okay. It's just now I've got an orange blob. So let's try with this brush because oh my god, look how much just came off on my brush. Oh my god, no, it's I can't do it. It's too orange. It's just gonna make me look so much worse than I already do. There is a bronzer in this palette, so I'll give that a go. But I can't do it. I can't. It would just make me look so orange and no. Okay. So that's a nice bronzer. It's not bad. I've got this little mirror out for a reason, and I'm not using it. I look like I have sunburn on my forehead, and it's the wrong season for sunburn in the UK. It's the wrong season for a vest top, but hey ho. To be fair, I'm sat right next to a radiator. Right, okay, so the bronzer in the palette is actually quite nice. So ignore my forehead, but I think that's quite nice. I think it's bronzed up like the sides of my face. Remember, the forehead was this stuff that just was not working for me. So I think the one in the palette is quite a nice bronzer. Okay, so go back in. What's this one? Okay, so next I'm going to move on to the contour that is in here. I think I'm going to go with this one. Ooh. These, in this palette, they're very, very powdery. I will say that, they're very powdery. I don't think that's too bad. I like this little palette thing is actually quite nice. I'm just going to put on some blush. I think that's quite a nice blush, to be honest. Finally is the highlighter. I'll just go find my highlighter brush, hang on. There it is. Okay. So there's one highlight. So in this palette you've got 2 foundation shades, 2 contour shades, a bronzer, 2 blush. So I'm just going to go into the highlight shade. See if this does anything. I think this highlight is definitely going to be too light for this foundation though. That is just glitter. Well, no, it's a nice subtle highlight actually. There is quite a bit of glitter in it, but it's a nice subtle highlight if you don't mind the glitter. Where did I say this makeup was from? Did I say B&M or Home Bargains? Because it came from Home Bargains. I like the highlighter. So I actually really enjoyed this palette. Very dusty though. Okay, so this is the Maximal, we'll just call it the Maximal face palette, so I don't have to read off all those things. So this, yes, big no. Foundation, if it was in my shade, I'd say yes, because this, like, I've just applied all that powder and all the bronzer and everything, and it hasn't come off, it hasn't separated or anything like that. The only thing I've noticed is probably from the sponge is I have black stuff on this side of my face. Okie dokie, so, but this concealer didn't do a thing, so no, bye-bye. Okay, so now I'm going to do my eyebrows. So they have this eyebrow palette. So it's the Olivia Hale eyebrow palette. Is there a sticker on this? No. Oh. Okay, so you have what appear to be a powder and a wax. But I will say you get a spoolie in here and you get a little brush. But I'm not going to use them. I want my brush. I'm going to use my regular brush. So I'm just going to go in with the powder. I'm going to brush my eyebrows first. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with the powder. Oh, that's dusty. So I went for the shade brown in this. They did not have blonde. They had brown or dark. That was it. But you know, they might have a blonde in a different store. The one I went to didn't have blonde. I'm using very, very small amounts of the wax because it is very, very dark. I like it. I think it's quite good. Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is like an underbrow highlight thing. But other than that, I actually quite like that. I think that would be pretty good for travel, especially as it comes with those little brushes that I put somewhere. Okay, I found them. Ooh. yeah, I think that's quite a good little kit. I like that. Right. So now I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. I did buy an eyeshadow base. It's Maximal. So I'm just going to apply this. This is... Okay. Already I prefer this bottle over the concealer bottle. But they're two different brands. So I prefer the Maximal bottle over the Olivia Pale one. But the applicator is still just as firm. But the eyeshadow base seems to be doing a better job than the concealer did. I like the eyeshadow base. It's good. It's just a touch. Once it's dried, it's just a touch tacky, which I think is good for applying eyeshadow. So I like the eyeshadow base. Right. So now I'm going in with the Maximal 28 eyeshadow palette, and this is in the shade number 4 Nude. So they do have 4 of these palettes. I picked up the nude one because it's the only one they had. They do have like a brights one and 2 more. I can't remember what they were. So I'm going to go in with these. I'm not using the foam applicators. I'll use my brushes. Oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering, I figured out where my sister got these Galaxy makeup brush holders from. They're from Poundland. I was in there the other day and I picked up 2 more. Kind of wish I picked up more, to be honest, because I realised I needed more. Right. Oh, I think I'm going to have trouble getting my brush in these. I'm going to go in with... Oh god, there's a lot of shimmer in here. I'm going to go in with this colour right here, which you probably can't see under my brush. So this one right here, I'm just going to dust that away with a lid. Next, I'm going to go in with a smaller fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to go in with there's honestly not a lot of mattes in here. I'm going with this colour right here. Can you see a difference? I can't see a difference. Damn it, I really wanted this to work. Let's go in, let's be brave and go in with the really dark brown shade in this palette. I wanted this to work because it's like cheap makeup. Yeah, not everyone can afford, like I buy drugstore anyway, but not everyone can afford even that. Okay, so that is the darkest brown in this palette. But they don't look patchy, which I will give it. I just wish they were a bit more pigmented. They're very hard. They're very, they've been pressed very, very hard. So I'm having to go in quite a bit with my brush just straight into the palette just because they've been pressed so hard. That's not too bad. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this almost black colour just to deepen it. Whoa, that has a lot more pigment. Good thing I'm going for a bit of an over dramatic look because I'm testing something out for Wednesday's video. I'm going to be testing it out straight after I finish filming this. So you'll see me wearing the same thing in Wednesday's video. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the black now. Just into this outer corner. So I've just dunked into that first transition shade I used, just dusted it all over my lid, and I'm just blending out these harsh edges. Now I'm going to go back in with that black on the other side. Okay, I don't think it's as patchy as I initially thought it would be, and it's blended out fine. So I quite like that actually. Now I'm going to go in with another brush. I'm going to take a navy blue, and I'm just going to sweep that into my crease. There doesn't seem to be too much fallout either, but I think that's something to do with the fact of how hard they've been pressed. So now I'm just going to take a flat brush, and I'm just going to take one of the brown shades and just smudge it under my lower lash. I did just poke myself in the eye again. Okay, so I think that's all. There's not really a highlight. Makes me laugh. There's loads and loads of shimmers in here, but there's no like highlight shade or anything like that in here. So maybe this one. I'm gonna do it with my finger. Oh, that was worse. Did I say worse? No, I meant nice. That was quite nice. That's not too bad. All in all, this palette isn't terrible, but I don't think I'll be keeping it because I have other palettes that are better. I know this was literally like £2, £3, but I think it'll be good for if you're in a pinch and really like you have somewhere to be or you have something to do and you need to be wearing makeup for it. I feel like this is good in a pinch because you can blend it out to make it look half decent or, you know, semi-decent. But if you can afford that, like if you can afford drugstore makeup and you're able to get there to get a better palette, I'd definitely go for something else. Like I'd go for one of the Revolution palettes or a Maybelline palette or a Rimmel palette over this, but it's good in a pinch. Okay, so that's that done. All that's left is mascara and highlight. So, come on. So the only mascara they had was this one from Rimmel. And I haven't tried this before, so clump free, right, Shake It Fresh, clump free volume. So we'll see how it is. So this is the wand. It's quite a spiky wand. Oh, I never do this right, do I? Oh, I just puffed it on my nose. Right, stop to drink, let it dry. It smells kind of weird. It smells a bit funky. This is a very wet formula, and I think it's because of that shaky thing. It's not terrible, just not my favourite. I mean, it's already started to flake under my eye. And to be honest with you, I have mascaras that look better, so I doubt I'll be keeping that. So all that's left to do is lips. So I've got a Olivia Hale Naked Mauve lip liner. It's a very hard pencil. It's a nice colour. It's just very hard. And you know when you've got a pencil that's like really, really hard and you're lining your lips, it tickles? Yeah. Okay, so now I have an Olivia Hale lipstick in Antique Rose. And I wonder if the bottom of this comes off. Can't tell. Okay, so it's just traditional lipstick. Doesn't say what finish it is either. No, don't say. Okay. Judging by how it's going on, it's a satin. Satin finish. Okay, so that's the lipstick. I actually like this lipstick. Right, so this is the look finish. There wasn't any setting spray or anything like that, so this is it. This is done now. So let's have a talk about what I would use again and what I wouldn't. So eyeshadow palettes are no from me. It's just too difficult to work with. I mean, I could get it to blend, but it took a while, and I just no. In a pinch, yes, but I can't explain it. It's like it's 28 shades in here, and to be honest with you, it only costs like £2 or £3, but honestly, I don't even think it's worth that. Just because they're so choppy, and half of the shades don't work, like they don't come up. So that's a no. Lip liner, pass, it's too hard. The lipstick I quite like. It's a nice glossy satin kind of finish. I really like it. It's a nice colour. You can get more colours. Foundation, if it was in my shade, I'd use it again. I'm actually going to try and find my shade of this foundation because I quite like it. The concealer, pass. No, it didn't do anything. You can still see the bags under my eyes. It's creased. it didn't do anything, so that's a no from me. Why aren't you in the box? This bronzer is a big no. No, no, no. It made my forehead more orange than my face. This palette, the face palette, is yes, I really enjoyed this. I actually think it would be really good for travelling because look, it's everything in one thing. Or then all you gotta do is put your eyeshadow palette, your foundation, your concealer, done, go. Eyebrow kit, yeah, I definitely use that again. Eyeshadow primer, yeah, again, I definitely use that again. This, I don't think I'd reach for it again, to be honest, because I have mascaras that look just as good, if not better, and I don't have to shake them. And to try and get this thing moving properly, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest, and it flaked really, oh, hang on. Yeah, look, it's flaking under my eyes already. It's like, it's no. I'll see if my sister wants this or something because it might work for her. Me and her have very different styles of makeup. Yeah, so some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. I liked stuff from both of the brands that we tried, and I didn't like stuff from both of the brands that we tried. Oh, except for this Sunkissed thing. I only had one thing from this brand and no. So, yeah. Well, tell me what you guys think of this makeup look. Would you go out and buy any of this makeup and give it a shot for yourself? So, just let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying me and my content. I'll ring that little bell and you'll get notified every time I upload. I'll see you guys through the screen. Bye, guys.